And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome either in the present or the future to a live stream of me just wire wrapping a little bit. Sorry, I'm just getting the last settings necessary. Boom, done. Cool. Right on. So today, I am working on this particular wire wrap, which has been quite the process. Last Friday, Sunday, I can't remember. On one of the recent streams that I did, I built the frame for this wire wrap hybrid, and now I'm kind of just finishing it up. And there's still quite a bit that I need to do. For instance, I got to get these claws more perfect. Claws/prongs. But that's more of finishing work. Also, I've got a little bit of detail right in the center that I've got to do. And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to bring us up some copyright-free music. I'm not feeling jazz today. Japanese flute. I want some jazz. I want some jazz. I know that one's safe. A little lame, but it's safe. Alrighty. And I am good to go. So down here in front of me are a bunch of wires switched. I'm actually going to take the ones that I'm not currently doing crazy stuff with. Toss them back in the box that I have over here. Organization can be slightly helpful. At least being able to work on things without moving. I appreciate anyone who participated in the vote. I wasn't exactly sure what to do, although I'm not gonna lie, I was actually hoping this was the project that would get picked. Like, if I could have voted, my vote would have gone here. I guess in the event of a tie, I'm able to vote. Otherwise, I got none. Yeah, right now I am just I'm weaving around that, and as it goes up, then it'll spread out a little bit. It will probably, or possibly at least, cover up that little element. Just didn't look the way I'd wanted it to. And I feel like that sweeping flow just going right over it would probably be better in the long run. Matter of fact, I think I'm just going to sink it now. And yeah. And so hopefully people will show up and I will have someone to talk to while I'm doing this, because, you know, it's not super exciting. For a while, I'm just going to wrap around this one piece of half round and try to get my see here. I think that's about where my rest point is. When you're not worrying about recording and stuff, you usually find a spot that's comfortable to rest your arm, and you just start going. I may not actually finish this tonight on this stream. I'm not sure yet. Because I have been putting a lot of thought in to design elements, and like I've left all this on the bottom because there is a lot of space. I want a spot to go through. Oh, why haven't I tested that? Well, it wouldn't matter. I want to test how it hangs, but I can't because it's got all this stuff on the back. And if I cut that off, it's going to be much harder to fill in any of these spots should I decide to fill them in. I'll probably leave these blank and then fill in the rest to be more inclusive, but I'm not sure, or encompassing. Could this design be done without a torque? Yes and no. A similar design definitely could be done. I feel like it would be just as bulky, if not bulkier, but it would be cool nonetheless. I don't know if it would be much more time or take as much time or not, though. It's pretty much sewing, guys. So wire hardens as it's bent and stuff, and as it's like squeezed and changed shape, so on and so forth. When you're doing this, you want to find the spot where your wire is just going to easily flow through. Sometimes you make the spot. Just like right here. Slips right through. Part of me wants to leave it kind of veil that there a little, but we'll just see how this plays out. Also, with these designs that, because I've done this a lot, where there's two ways of doing this type of a design. One is to like get your wires in place, lay them down where you want them to go, but instead of tucking them back first, you leave them just pointed out, and you can quickly figure eight that. This is a lot easier than the way I'm doing it, a lot less time consuming. So a lot of these I've had to install a wire in a way like this one wasn't, but this inner one. Wait, no, that's not the one. This one. This whole thing had to be installed because it's using wires from this And from this, which we're already pretty much in, um, I just had to work them into where I wanted them. Earlier, I was saying that like you want to find that space that is open and just allows your wire to like flow through easily without getting bent or you know as little messing with it as possible. Because it work hardens it. As it work hardens, it starts to do this like wannabe coil thing where it gets a little just unruly. Um, you can fix this with fire, but this easily melts. I've found that when you're doing these type of designs, while it's a real pain in the ass, you can use shorter pieces of wire and then simply tie them in or tie them out and then tie a new one in, and this will make it a lot easier to work in some ways. But again, that tying it out and tying a new one in gets kind of difficult, and it can leave little places that a very discerning eye might notice, like that doesn't look quite right. Actually, as a matter of fact, I know of there's one of those spaces that just screams to me on this piece because I am a little good at this at this point. Right there are two wires. Something's just not quite right, and that's because one wire got tied out, and I accidentally had reversed it when I tied it back in. And by the time I noticed, it was like it would have been hell unweaving that, and I was like, "No, we're going with it." Because this piece has already been overly time consuming. Please tell me I had a fucking wait. I have to look into something real quick. 20 carats. I could have swore. I know it's like somewhere between 20 and 25 carats. It's a big one. Well, this might be a short live stream today. Figure I'll give it at least another 15 minutes before bailing. Oh, hey, Will. I didn't realize you or anyone was here. How you doing today, buddy? Is Have you tried clicking the bell icon and making sure that it's toggled on to all notifications? Okay, I get annoyed by YouTube too, so yeah, that actually is one of my annoyances. when it comes to YouTube, because, you know, to some people, I am really loving this hybrid too. God damn it. Like, it's turning out really, really well. And as you know, like, my studio isn't set up to show off gems in my streams. I need to get better about that, but they would totally blind the freaking camera from everything else. Yeah, no, I like this. And I was thinking about the idea that you had given earlier today. Now, it wouldn't work with this stone, and actually, it would be a real pain in the ass to figure out. But it would be really cool if I could take a stone that's in a more, normal size, that because they call it calibrated, and you'll find 9x7s or 6x8s. I think this is a 6x8. I can measure that and check. I want to measure that and check to see if I'm right. 7x5. 7x5. And doing a frame, taking a model of that frame and then casting it. The problem is, I'm struggling to cast big things, or at least I'm considering them big. Like this, these are not coming out well. These aren't coming out well. I'm not figuring out. I don't know. I would love to be able to cast like several frames and then just go with it, but and they'd all turn out different in the end too, which is what the kind of really cool thing would be about it. But it would save me like 5 hours. Well, it would save me 5 hours if I could cast 6 of them or more at a time. Anything interesting going on in life, Will? Two, three. Is it good? That's nice to know. Forgot that I didn't put that down. Jesus, man, your luck is just not going well. What do you mean mismeasured? Who the fuck makes a five? Like, how does that not come out of an employee's fucking pay? I totally believe in paying people for the like people, if someone's working for me and helping me make money, they deserve to get paid for that. But if they're losing me money, how is it they deserve to get paid for that? Oh, hell no, dude. Fucking fired. Get that dude one of these and tell him if he's off by 10 millimeters ever again, it's done. I'm a tyrant, I guess. No, seriously, like, who the fuck are you hiring? But there are competent rejects, right? And I appreciate the hell out of that as an opioid victim myself. I really speaks highly of you, that really highly. Have you tried explaining it to this guy in the way, like, you know, you can't mismeasure your weights because you'll kill all your customers and then you have no one to make your money off of. Like, maybe that might, I don't know, like, and my heart goes out to people because, like, you probably are one of the few people willing to give chances to someone like that. When really, I'm not trying to say they're a bad person. There's just a bit of a competency thing. Like, but fuck, where the hell are they gonna get a job? At the same time, it's got to be profitable enough for you to actually be able to continue employing them. Otherwise, dude, I don't want to get there. I quit now. I'm giving up. Well, but that's not your fault, bro. Like, mm, God, I'm probably gonna get fucking shadow banned for this. But as an opioid addict in the past tense, but still myself, like, there is something that needs to be said about this. And how do I say this kindly? The world is a fucked up place. It's not, nobody should have to, but when you are in the position that, you have been victimized, it's put a target on you, fuck the medical system. It made me feel better. For the rest of your life, like, you need to wake up to the reality that it's not fair, it's not right, but you have to excel. You have to be better than the next 10 people who are sober to make it. It's one reason I wouldn't even fuck around with working for someone else, is because I'm not gonna put up with that, especially when I know that it's just gonna make them much more wealthy, and I'm not gonna get that. I'm not saying that obviously, I know you wouldn't actually treat somebody differently because of their past. I know you well enough. But still, like, that's something they need to we all, not just they, we need to keep in mind is, like, we gave up a lot of time. If we wanna make up for that, we have to put that extra in, and we are responsible for grabbing that machete and cutting a new path to a life of success and peace. It's it's wonderful that you're willing to give people a chance, but they need to and you've given me an amazing opportunity, which is there we go. How hard do I work to make sure that you are blown away and happy with the service I provide? Anyone working for you should be giving that same 135%, which let's not talk about the real mathematics behind that metaphor. I'm done with my rant. It's just because eventually people get burnt out and they look at it and they're like, well, shit, what's the point? I keep trying to give these people a second chance and it keeps burning me. And he's still working for you. Because I highly doubt that you've approached those situations with anything but grace and kindness. And maybe some profanity, but I just I don't know. I've I have always found you to be very easy to work with. And I can't argue with you. You're a very patient person, and I respect you massively for it. I guess maybe your point of view changes when actually, though, I don't know that this would be accurately describing you, or this might accurately describe you too. I don't know. Like, I guess my point of view is from someone who it's like that type of a mistake once could fucking just ended my business. Then again, I've never done a $20,000 job yet. I can't wait for the first time I get to do something like that, but no, the like you make a point if and that's something my dad taught me as well because he had some employees like I remember one time he sent me out as a 12-year-old to explain to somebody how to read a tape measure. Oh, dude, I hope I don't have to do that. I don't know if I can make it. 2 years in, I'm fucking like it hits. It's hard. But yeah, so I do get it. Like if somebody is learning, those mistakes eventually will come less often. I guess maybe you just got to treat it like they're a teenager. It's their first job, which, with all due respect, it is for a lot of us. I mean, I worked at a pizza place, an Arby's, a fireworks shop, and Coca-Cola. That was all before I turned 19. I haven't had, legitimate employment since. Or, well, I hope so, man. I guess you're right, though. In a way, it's almost like I'm at a roulette table that's, just takes months per spin. And then every time the spin comes back, I'm just like, I'm all in. Yes, a little bit of money more. I'm all in. Hey, Will, by the way, at some point in this winter, if I don't go out of business, I'm going to need some major help on some accounting shit because I got to get that taken care of. Um, Also, still heavily interested in talking with your friend about the uh, website and getting that damn thing actually running before I have to lose my domain. And I have celestialreach.com. I want to keep it. Oh, so dude, good to see you. Yeah, I think that stuff might actually finally be over for me up here. It's feeling a little bit like winter starting again. We got one of the shorts to reach 100,000 views. Actually, it's had almost 1,000 views in the last day. Yeah, yeah. I should just switch over to doing nothing but videos of me melting metal. Problem is, I I gotta sell these things to fund getting new coins to melt. Oh, I know, but at the same time, the channel's supposed to be more educational, not melting ASMR and pouring of liquid hot metals. Ooh, hey Will, did you see the post I put up a couple hours ago with the poll asking people's opinion on what I should do with this live stream? This is true, Pro. But then again, it can't really be educational if the people who need said education aren't the ones who know about it. I wish I could like monetize so that way we had the like $10 join button. Not so that I could make money, but so that because I have a feeling that when you join something like that, you definitely get their notifications. Because YouTube's like, oh, they give money. They might give more money. We'll make money if they give more money. Yeah, that's it. I'm hearing that a lot. What I gotta do about the sides of this thing. That's my problem. Like the top of this thing is looking sharp, but then, and that's gonna be harder to fix. I have to get this top part, this part, and these two panels fixed. I can probably go without messing with those two. It's a good point. Wait, what? What critter? What? Where? This? Uh, oh, Dreadnought class starship? Oh, okay. I get it now. So, and that's a trick you do when heady wire wraps when you want to make sure that you're able to cover up a lot of the bottom and the backside and such. You leave all that excess wire so you have shit to work with and weave on. By the way, thank you for the likes. Appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It greatly helps our analytics. And we do videos that are sometimes more educational and better entertainment quality than this. Also, if you think this pendant's really badass, just, you know, head on over to my Etsy and shoot me a chat. Always down to talk some numbers. What in the hell happened there? Good. Absolutely good. Oh, you're a pain in my butt. Okay. I had the wonderful thing happen where I have to back up because it decided to go on the wrong side of the wire. That's all it takes. And that really hardens your wire every time you have to like back it out. I don't know why, but it always just fucking wrecks it. Yes, yes, indeed, bro. You can always cut too much away. You can't magically grow well. You can, but not when you've got amethyst or any form of quartz inside of something. Like the sapphires will make it, but the quartz and the garnet, no, they'll explode. Sure. Which uh, which dragon horde are you talking of? Are we talking? This said dragon horde, or are we talking finished product? The loose tanzanite? Is that? Am I pointing? Yeah, yeah, right there. I'm pointing at the right one. I need to have a like instead of the push buttons, I need to have the little fake security lock. These sit here. Oh shit! That piece didn't get taken out of the sale. I've got to. Oh, I gotta change that. I just realized I've got a piece with a 4 carat tanzanite that was already like priced as if it was on sale, and it just got an extra 35% discount applied to it. That's gotta get changed. There is the tanzanite. The, the, yeah, these are the ones that I pretty much hoard away. All of which being covered under the policy of, uh, you know, have to be supplied with a very large deposit before. Thank you. I put some resources into those. A lot of saving. I'd like to get another order in, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Something else that came in that, and this is not really for sale at the moment, although it very well might be soon. I'm just needing to do research to figure out what the price is that bigger blue black opal cabochon. It has blue flash and it has fairly decent blue flash, but it's like 4 or 5. It's huge. Come on. Oh yes, Laura. I have some shinies sitting around for sure. See, that's not a bad piece of boulder opal there. Oddly enough, I'm in love with this one. This one's definitely available. This one's available. Although that big white one has crazing and like impact, it looks like, in the center. So I might have to replace that one. But somebody gave me the one as a gift. Actually, they gave me that. Like, they told me they were going to be sending me a package, being kind, and I was super stoked, but they sent me that big one. These two, which I couldn't believe my fucking eyes, like, that one just reminds me of the aurora borealis and a mountain like Alaska. It just does. Two tourmaline slices, a piece of legitimate citrine. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And I must say, I love it when someone sends me a rock and I'm like, what the is that? Also, an upcoming project. Sabella's, like, one of her favorite stones is tiger's eye. And when I saw this magnificent tiger's eye, I couldn't help but get it to make something for Sabella. All right. Sorry to the people who were here for wire wrapping. I get distracted by gemstones super easily because it's what it's all about. There's another one somewhere nearby that I picked up semi recently that I have to wait until I have time for an art project, but it's a fairly large egg that's made out of petrified wood. And I feel like it's going to be something amazing. Mm. And I keep forgetting to do this. This live stream is brought to you by the Celestial Reach Etsy that we have. It is pinned in the comments right now, and currently I have all these casted items, and you know, coming to think on the prices of them, I want to say they're $60, but I may have made a mistake setting up a oh, and then there's a sword somewhere. Where is the sword? There it is. Sword. Yeah, we got 4 of the opal ones, couple different models of these, couple different models of the crosses. I don't know if the sword's up. If it's not, that's because I've got 2 more that I gotta finish out. Yes, it's a sword. Fuck. I'm gonna polish that up the way it is and send it to Sabella. She'll get a joke or a laugh out of that. She will totally get a laugh out of that. And there might be some excess discounts on things that shouldn't be discounted the way they are. I'll abide it. I'm gonna do like the big mattress stores. Okay. Where's my point of rest? Is that my point of rest? I think it is. Kinda. These longer wires, it helps when you're trying to do this. If you kind of pull it taut, not tight, but like that, and then I tuck it under my chin real quick, and it gives me enough tension to be able to slip that through, and you can kind of do that. It keeps the wire from work hardening too quick. God dang it! Did I really? That's okay. Somebody say something entertaining, because watching me do the exact same thing over and over and over again cannot be that entertaining for people. I'm getting close to having this part done, thankfully. Hmm. Okay, nothing important that I know of. Any Star Wars fans in chat? Anyone watch a show Ahsoka last night? Just gonna have to cut that off, probably. Just gonna cause issues later. I might have to tie this wire out and add a new one. Will suck, but it's what it is. I think this is the last giant amethyst I have to work with. That's that I believe is natural, at least. I've got a couple giant ones that pretty sure they're lab grown, because the piece of rough that it would take to cut one of those pieces in natural would cost 10 times what they're selling the dang thing for. Pushing that into where I'm going to need it is going to be a pain. Um, to, I also try to keep my wires on the back pointed down. Keeps things from getting tangled up. I think that was the end of. No, it wasn't. So we might need something else. Switch over to lo-fi for a few. So, Will, why were you interested in looking at those, them there tanzanite, huh? Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to tie this piece out. It's unfortunate, but it just is what it is. When you're doing these weaves on wires that are already fairly well installed, you gotta do what you gotta do with them because they do work harden very quickly. So instead of using, because what I used to do is I would cut me a 6-foot piece of wire and then waste the last 2 inches or 2 feet, no, the last 4 feet of it, uh, because I would have to cut it off and then I would do another long piece and waste half of it. I find that I actually get more done if I cut 1 foot strings. I'm wasting less. I guess it's not like I'm actually ever wasting metal, but still. Again, I just want to say thank you for the engagements with chat and the like button, subscription. You know who you were who subscribed. Do I? Do I get to know? Does it tell me? No. Okay. I think. Man, I am so close, though. My head's trying to do the math. Like, do I really need to add or tie this out and add a new piece in? One, two. See, Iris didn't get a notification either now that I think about it. I don't think I have to. Watch me regret this. One, two. No. Three. And four. I wonder if I'm shadow banned. Just, I doubt it, but like with as many people aren't getting the notifications, it's hard not to ask that question. I don't even want to ask the question because, like, I don't want to jump down no rabbit holes. I I know it's a thing. I know it's real, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to believe that anything I have to say or teach is worth shadow banning to anyone. I guess maybe like Signet might not like me because I'm doing my best to make them as irrelevant as possible. Make your own engagement ring, guys, girls, everyone, or get it from me. I got that rock. Trust me. I cannot. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, unfortunately, it's why I have Iris running the TikTok and Sabella running the Insta is because I am unable to utilize those bigger social medias. Not by them. I don't believe that they would care. Huh. Crap. It looks like I'm not going to regret it. Fuck! I spoke too soon. Go figure. And to a point, I believe him on that. I mean, I do wonder if there might be, well, there's a lot about the man that I wonder about, but I do have a lot of respect for him, and so yeah. He was our a socialist's best chance after Bernie. Fucking Warren. That wasn't so bad. I don't get, like, yeah, actually, no, I do get the purpose of silencing people. I mean, Machiavelli made it pretty fucking clear. If you haven't read Machiavelli's The Prince, I highly recommend doing so. Um, I was about to mock an ad for a certain book company that does audiobooks, but then I was like, man, F that. There is a free app called LibraVox, like library, LibraVox. This app has a lot of free material on it, including basically anything that's out of copyright. So all these really historical writings, like Mark Antony's diaries, I can't remember what that's called. Bushido, or sorry, not Bushido. The Go No Show by Miyamoto Musashi. The Art of War by Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and The Prince by Nikolai Machiavelli. And they're free audiobooks with really good volunteers who read these books. Plus, if you're a fan of like 1920s, actually sci-fi from before the 1980s, they have some great ones. To start your free trial of LibriVox, just go download the goddamn app because it's free. There are some books that do cost money for the audiobook, but I don't use it a lot anymore, but I used it for like 10 years. And I still have it downloaded. Very, very awesome app for people who like literature, especially older literature and audiobooks. God, why can't I think of the title of Mark Antony's? I think it's Reflections. I don't remember. It was good in ways. I mean, I don't agree with all of any of it, but very interesting still, nonetheless. All right, so now that I have this connected properly, I'm just gonna tie it in. Although, Will, if you are interested in the spot, I would be totally cool with somebody popping up an X account for the organization and posting from it occasionally. Although, no politics. I don't care what they are. I try to stay out of it on that just because, I don't care. I think Rupert Murdoch said it best. Sometimes it's not about red or blue, it's about green. Now, someone hand me a lighter. That last part was Snoop Dogg. Who would probably be stupidly jealous of your lighters? And you know who you are. I should start sending those to big, or not the lighter cases themselves, but tagging big smokers in them and seeing what they think. Maybe, just maybe, I could be convinced to do some more of them. All right, so I've got. Well, okay. I have the top mostly done. I am going to fill in a couple more places with some micro coils, as I like to call them affectionately. Or when I'm pissed off, I have a plethora of names that I will call them. Yeah. Some of which could possibly get me permanently banned from the world. Probably not that bad, but you know. So this is a piece of 26 gauge wire with a piece of 32 gauge wire being coiled around it. Oh, wait, why am I doing it this way? I know I got a bunch of oil all over this fucking drill gun, and ever since I haven't wanted to use it because it has vacuum pump oil all over it. You would think that I had never changed oil on a car before if you watched me try to do that. And you would be right. And again, I've pretty much only driven a car when I'm being pursued. I also, I got another hammer, although, and I'm thinking of giving it a name. I'm thinking of calling it the rolling mill. But it was really cool. Yesterday, I tested a piece of gold to see if it had been contaminated with lead by smacking it with it, and it just blew up. It had been contaminated because gold would have just smashed, or uncontaminated gold would have just smashed. And so I just swept all that into my carpet. That is gonna be a nightmare to try and get out someday. Okay. Get to about the halfway mark. Twist down, and then I can just put it where I want it to go and kind of shape it. I have a feeling this is definitely going to be a project that I'm going to be breaking out the chopsticks on here real soon. Hope y'all know how much I love you, because I am missing the debate right now, which I am sure is absolute comedy mixed with horror and, all that. Did I say horror? I meant horrors. That is what a politician is. Ever since money became acceptable speech. I'm That ain't politics. I'm talking shit on them all. They all suck. Oh no, that was the end of it. It didn't seem like it was worth, that it was gonna be worth watching. And I watched the new Star Wars last night, so Although I will say that one's worth watching like 6 or 7 times. If you haven't seen it, so far it's pretty decent in my opinion. I haven't seen what the Star Wars commentators are saying about it, but most of them aren't even talking about Star Wars anymore. They're just talking about the internal whatever within Disney, which I do not understand. I can barely run a 1,000. And yeah, did I was getting there for quite some time recently. Star Wars has been incredibly toxicity filled for the last ever since George sold the series. And I guess in a way that is partially the point, but it's not. Like, Star Wars is kind of a philosophical treaty on our own system, and then everyone just seemed to be like, "That's too much thinking involved." So, Terry Mancore? Which is that? I'm not familiar with that, particular creator of content, although I'm interested. It should come as no surprise because I like sci-fi. Star Wars is just one particular sci-fi that I find to be beautiful in many ways. The movies aren't that great though. Spellmonger. Is it a book or TV? And let's be fair, Game of Thrones wasn't that great. Lord of the Rings was I won't talk shit on it. I can't. Without Lord of the Rings, I don't Lord of the Rings was the weed of fantasy, in my opinion. It was the gateway drug, the gateway fantasy. Kind of like these pendants are gateway jewelry. Very affordable. You can snag yours today. Just check out the pinned comment and go check out the Etsy. Don't blaspheme. Like I said, I can't talk smack on Lord of the Rings. It's that gateway that drags you into fantasy, and it couldn't do that if it wasn't good. Harry Potter, mm, I liked the books as a kid. I was a big fan of the books. I haven't really kept up on it. What is my favorite stone? Ooh, probably a. It's a close fight between. I'm looking at my rocks right now too, kind of. So Tanzanite's gonna be one of them. Opal is gonna be another. Tourmaline is gonna be one of them, and then the last one that I would name, I don't believe I have my example nearby. It's actually in a display like one of these. Fire opal can be beautiful. I've got a really nice one um, somewhere behind me from Mexico, and that's taffet. Taffet is a very, very rare stone that is hard to differentiate from spinel, which is another one I really love. Very, very rare. It was the first uber rare stone I ever identified out of a parcel of mixed stones, and that excitement's still with me today. Alexandrite's also kind of a cool one. Yeah, fire opal. Actually, so I have these fire opals. Some of the facets aren't bad, especially these two small facets are really nice, and the cab's really not bad either. But then I got this one, which I actually don't like showing off very often because I really love this one. Then I got some really cool Ethiopians, a couple Australians. Uh, the the fire opal, this one, a lot. 17. Being in Matrix, I'm gonna guess about 7 to 10 of those carrots are in Matrix, unfortunately. I do not know. Um, I haven't really considered parting with this one for some time. Normally, I on these Ethiopian ones, which are I do a lot of 5 to 7 carat range. The price, depending on its quality, can be anywhere from 100 or sorry, anywhere from 60 to like 120 a carat. I work with a lot of these. This is the only piece of fire opal I've actually gotten my hands on from Mexico that has really good color play. Um, Actually, I haven't even seen like a video in a long time of a piece that nice. I don't go looking for them, but yeah, I wish I could give you a better answer, but I just don't know on that. I'm sorry, man. Or it's I'm not sure. Kind of. I'm sorry, fam. I'm gonna switch to saying that anymore. Pretty much everything will have a range in price depending on certain characteristics. From its size, well, there's the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat. I think there's more to this than those, but that does also kind of transfer over to opals and other stuff. So the quality of the cutting is going to have a huge effect. The play of color. So the the quality on cutting on these cabs is pretty decent. The play of color is amazing. But if I compare it to, say, a couple smaller ones I have that don't quite have as stunning and full play of color, the price per carat of these is going to be a bit less, not just because of the play of color, but the size as well. Um, these are going to be more like $20 a carat, probably about max. Whereas these are going to go way up, and fire opal is gonna be the same, or diamonds, or rubies. Every gemstone's gonna have similar changes depending on its size. I think what I'm gonna do is cut it. I'm cutting that. And I'm gonna transfer over to 30 gauge because it's a little bigger. It'll help. I'm glad. That's really one of the main purposes of this channel, is to teach. Oh, yeah. When was the last time I took someone? Another reason I have the channel is community, and then, no lies, I am trying to make some sales as well. But if you ever have seen me on Reddit or such, like Reddit primarily, I'm always saying I buy the wire and roll. I can roll my own, and I do, but especially not thin wire. Like, for instance, gold. I will almost always go buy scrap gold, melt down the gold that I have, and, reuse it and turn it into thicker wires instead of buying it, because it costs so much more to buy it as wire. But for thin wire, it's just not worth making. Oh, sorry, I had to grab something vitally important to survival. Must have monster. Yeah. And I use a lot of silver, and I've learned, like, even on the thicker wire, it's not super worth it for especially for wire wrapping. It's just not worth it to roll it out. I've done it with some cool results. It adds so much extra time that it's just cheaper to buy it. Again, though, not for gold. Like, the amount of money they want for gold wire or sheet or whatever, the premium on that is so high. And since, it's already so expensive, you're buying a very little amount of it. So you're pretty much, well, here, I can give you an example. So at 23 gauge, I will buy down to 23 gauge round wire and 22 gauge half round. But like this here, I don't know I have to wait. One. What does this cost? Well, just as an example, this would cost me in scrap jewelry. The same weight would cost me about there we go. Probably around $50, maybe. No, it's a gram and a half. Let's say it costs $50. Scrap. It's gonna be closer to 65 to 75 to buy it as. Yeah, it's roughly about that. It's just so much more expensive to buy as wire when I can just go melt it down. Like, it's one thing to make a piece of wire like that versus if it was like 6 of them that are 4 foot long. That changes the equation quite a bit. But yes, the gold market is ruthless. It's going down in price. It's not quite that bad, although it's like if somebody hired me to make a gold chain for them, I would definitely make the wire myself to save the money. However, if they hired me to make a silver chain for them, I would just buy the wire. But the premium's not quite as bad as like finished jewelry, unless that jewelry is like the stuff that's just casted and then polished. Like, I'm not quite there yet. I still have to do quite a bit of upkeep on my stuff, but or finishing work on it. Yeah, it's definitely a noticeable difference in price for sure. I keep forgetting that not everyone can see what Rio wants for gold wire. Which is funny because, like, I don't really go look at it very often because I don't buy it unless it's 30 gauge for the primarily. Like, that's about the only wire I get. Because that is just the smaller it is, the more difficult it is to make, and the more time it takes to make. I don't even have like, because after rolling it, if you want really thin wire that's round or any shape, you need a draw plate. Problem is, draw plates are expensive because if you don't use the right steel, which by the way, Will, if you can make this, I need one. Anyway, if it's not the right hardened steel, it just bends and breaks and it doesn't work. So this thing here actually has been worthless to me. Although I could possibly make, like, I could probably figure out how to make round wire. It just hasn't been worth doing yet. If it was thicker, I can't do it thin though. But yeah, just for wire, there's a lot that goes into it. To be fair, you either need very expensive machinery or you need to be willing to put a lot of time into it. Because it, like, that little square took me about an hour to make. I could not tell you that off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I do believe you could hit Google up real quick though, and it could tell you right away. You could also go to Rio Grande and go look at their silver wire, because silver, gold, it doesn't matter. The wire gauge is going to be the same. I might be able to tell you that actually. Give me a second. I forgot I had this tool. My apologies. I got two really cool tools actually with me today. This is a really awesome set of calipers. So this is 2.2 millimeters on one side and 2.35-ish on the other side. It's roughly, you're looking at 13 gauge wire, roughly. I think you're going to want 12 to 13 gauge if you're looking for 2.5. Got to use them. Sorry. Part of me also wants to do some of the old-timey stuff where, like, you're making your jewelry by creating, or with like a candle or something. For I don't know how they did the soldering. It certainly wasn't an easy process. It sounds like from some of the people in India that I watch who make jewelry, some real masters, it almost sounds like they have somebody working an air pump on their torches. I don't know if that's actually the case or not. Um, if so, it's really badass. Well, I just gotten into a sober living program, and I've got a deformed hip. It really messes with my mobility. I don't leave the house much because of it. And a acquaintance of mine gave me a box of yarn and beads and some wire, and I was like, cool, what the hell can I do with this stuff? So I went to YouTube and I Googled, I don't remember what I Googled exactly, but this tutorial by this amazing artist, Yvonne Will or Back to Earth Creations, had a dragon eye bracelet tutorial. It's about an hour and 30 minutes long on the process of how it's made. Kind of starts out looking like this, but then gets wire wrapped to be super dope. And I was like, that is the coolest fucking thing I have ever seen. I'm gonna make that. Now, it's a bit of a process, but I'm crippled. And I had all the time in the world. And so I just devoted myself to learning how to wire wrap. And about 5 months later, I sent her an email, something to the effect of, Sensei, did I bring honor to the dojo? To it, I was told that I had. And I was like, awesome. And so I went looking for another wire wrapped genius. I still watch Back to Earth Creations a lot, to learn a new style. And I ran across a bracelet that looked similar, not the same bracelet as this, but I was about 5 months in, and I ran across a bracelet that looked kind of like this, by a gentleman. You can actually find him on YouTube as well, The Art of Wire. And I was like, what the fuck is that thing? And I flat tried to replicate it. I didn't replicate it, but, well, I didn't replicate it. I did replicate the mechanism and a lot of the concept behind it, because I was testing myself and I wanted to, learn from these master wire wrappers and hopefully become one myself. So I followed his tutorials and such and kept pushing myself. About 6 months later, I had been saving up silver and gemstones, little sapphires and all sorts of stuff, and I decided to give that bracelet a shot. With a lot of messaging back and forth to The Art of Wire, who's pretty good about that sort of thing, actually. He's very Miles is a very, very nice person. I love him. And so, yeah, I learned from him. And as I was learning from him, my styles started to divert, because I had this concept and I don't have it near, but I wanted to do what's known as pave, or this more, all but 5. There are 5 synthetic rubies in that thing, because I didn't have $10,000 for rubies a piece. Anyway, yeah, I had the idea of doing that sort of thing into the wire of my wire wraps. And Miles ended up getting something called a laser welder, which I had been talking about for months. I'm years away though, because they're like 10 grand. I if I get one, I will know that I am succeeding if I can afford something like that. But yeah, and slowly but surely I just kept watching videos and kept teaching myself and ended up where I'm at today. Drill? Yes. Yeah, that is one aspect of stone setting and different things. Also engraving. There's another person on YouTube, Noise Designs Jewelry. I've been kind of learning his style lately. I picked it up a lot faster this time. It only took me maybe a month, but I had also had a lot of the basics down too. So I'm basically the way I learn is I go and I find things that are interesting to me artistically and that speak to me artistically, and then I try to figure out how it's done. So far, I've been able to do this mostly with people who have pretty good videos on how to do that. But yeah, for stone setting, you drill and then you use burrs, and you need to be under a microscope, which I'm still debating whether or not I want to do some stone setting there and some stone setting there. I probably won't, but it would be cool. All right, we are slowly but surely getting the side of this finally. Do about anything. Indubitably. Although I do have to say, talent is not enough. I actively, you could. I do this about 16 hours a day. I wake up, I start looking up while I'm waiting for my body to start working. I start looking up, different jewelry stuff. Soon as I'm able to move and function half decently, I immediately just start working, and I don't stop until it's bedtime. Part of that is the love of it, and the other part is the dream of it. Like I want this to be my profession to the point that I bet my disability benefits on it. That is a style I want to learn someday. I can't. I would be lying if I said that it was on the top of my to do, but you're right. And it should be because it would be more popular than a lot of what I do. I am slowly getting into doing casting, and with that, more traditional stuff that's more affordable. Although, don't get me wrong, there'll be some crazy stuff to come out soon, I'm sure. or eventually. Once we start getting the rest of them bugs worked out on this whole casting thing, get a kiln and all that stuff. But anyone can do this. It's just having enough willpower to do it. Which I I don't necessarily recommend to people. I mean, I want some freedom in my life, but I'm also a slave to my own ambition and dreams. Oh yeah, no, I know they are. Actually, speaking of popular things, I need to get some wraps. I've got some sunstone that are gonna make some really good pumpkin wraps. Stay tuned. Okay. Oh hey, I lied. So this wire of silver here, I did actually make, which I do. Like anytime I'm doing projects that require the torch, the metal I use is mostly hand worked. All right, chopstick time. Coolest wire wrapping trick I ever learned, and I don't remember who I learned it from. I feel like it was the Art of Wire. Chopsticks. They basically, whoever taught me this basically had a piece of wood to push in whatever and push around things. I use a chopstick because I didn't have to shape it, didn't need a lot of work going into it. It was just free and worked. Came with dinner. I'm a slave to my own. Was it ambition or dreams? Is that the quote you mean? And in all fairness, with that, I'd rather be a slave to myself than a slave to someone else. Never again. Ambition, and it's true. I hope to have a super big jewelry company that sells a mix of things like this to $100,000 necklaces that I can then use to A, retire, and B, help a lot of people who need help. I think Marilyn Manson said something to the effect, the singer, of we're basically all slaves in one way or another. He said it in a much more offensive way, but that was how he got people to have a good night, Will. Thank you for dropping by. Um that was how he got people to pay attention to his message. At least when he had a message. Not so sure he does anymore, but man, I have been working on this thing all week. I have to get it done today. That's pretty close. Actually, I can live with this at the moment, the way it is. Or this side. Maybe? Can you do it? Can you get there? Nope. Not securely enough. When building wire wraps of any kind, in my opinion, the most important goal you should have is longevity. Now, according to modern business practices, this is not a good business tactic. I disagree. I think people would rather replace items that are, or not replace items, get new items and build to their wealth than to continuously have to replace items because they break. That's something I'm super passionate about, is making sure that no matter what it is I am selling, no matter what the price point, I can't say that. I do sell $5 rings that are not meant to last you forever. It's about the only thing. Okay. And so as these have covered this side up, I'm then having the wire transfer over without covering the name tag thing to this side, where I can start utilizing it and in a way to fill in the area that is left that needs to be filled in. Oh, 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 you're not part of it yet? Okay. That's cool. Here, you go ahead and just go that direction for now. We'll link you back in here in a bit. All right, I want that to have wire going all the way down. So it's time to get a little more 30 gauge. Probably be ending the stream here in about 10 minutes. I think 2.5 hours is fine, especially for a random surprise live stream. Hey, buddy, what's up? Yeah, you being a good boy? I know it's a trick question, but still, I gotta ask. When aren't you? I mean, to be fair, bud, I can think of a few times you have been a little monster. Okay, maybe not a monster, but you have really stressed me out on a couple occasions. Like that time you ran away and then cost me $1,500 because you got sick. Oh yeah, no, I didn't forget about that. I will never forget about that, buddy. Never. Sorry, guys. My cat is wanting attention. Which he's pretty easy about that. Like, for some reason, though, he can tell when I'm talking to him versus talking to the chat pretty well. I think there's a slightly different tone of voice I use that gives him. Right now, I'm just tying in that piece of 30 gauge wire. I find when doing so in a place that's visible or actually at all, tying in by doing a long coil somewhere can really help add to the visual aesthetics of a piece. That's a surprising amount of views. And thank you to everyone who hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching this in the future, it really helps with the analytics. We did just have a video go break over 100,000 views. Major success there. I'm actually surprised we had the traction we had today with this stream, because wire wrapping can be boring as hell. What I did there was instead of cutting, I will twist a spot, put pressure, twist again, and it'll cause it to break in that spot I first twisted. for thin wire, which is useful when you're tying or you're back in a place that it can be hard to get these into. Here this week, I'm actually gonna make a video because I'm gonna transform a pair of these $2 Harbor Freights that I use and transform into good wire wrapping cutters into a specialty pair of cutters that can get all the way into a wire wrap. So um, that is because my old pair broke and this pair is just not quite cutting it. So, and I don't feel like spending no $70 for a pair of cutters, basically. Like, on what planet? All right. Once you get a piece started like that, if you can keep your wire, so you pinch in a spot while keeping your wire back and out of the way of any of these wires. Also, it can help to kind of get them bunched up and not in the realm where they can snag, and you can quickly coil a piece of wire that is an element. Now, to keep your coils, stupid camera, nice and tight, grab the tip of, or grab your wire with some pliers, pinch and pull. And do that every, 10 centimeters or so, or 10 millimeters, just because at a certain point, it will be too far back and you won't be able to do that. You can also use nylons to pinch with. Now, if you get your hold right, your wrapping will be so tight that you don't have to do that. Again, I want to thank everybody for showing up and chatting and hitting the like button. Whoever it was that subscribed, thank you. I'm glad that you found the content informational and hopefully somewhat motivational. Again, though, I do understand that the honesty that this can really suck as a lifestyle, maybe a little less motivating, but I just don't want to lie to you guys. Like, being able to turn something I love as much as wire wrapping and making jewelry into a career is amazing, but it's not easy or cheap. Okay, now I have to untangle everything. Another little pro tip, this here is how you get kinks in your wire if you pull on it, but if you instead push and then pull, it will unravel in a way that can still be worked with. Start tying this onto the frame. All right. I'm going to leave that for a minute. Ooh, wait. That goes up that direction. And then, well, regardless. Anyway, I appreciate y'all showing up today. I hope you have a wonderful week. We will catch y'all in the next live stream. It might be Friday. There might be a vending event, though, so I'm not positive. But I'll leave a little bit of an update in the community section of the channel. Have a wonderful night. Everyone be safe. Take care of yourselves, and most importantly, love yourselves. Peace out.